What is the best way to unit test async Python? Imagine trying to catch a moving target in a game. That's what testing asynchronous Python code can feel like. But don't worry, there are clear ways to make it straightforward and reliable. Async Python code uses coroutines and needs an event loop to run. Unlike normal functions, you can't just call an async function directly and expect it to work. You have to await it inside an async function, which makes testing a bit trickier. That's why your testing tools need to support async functions and manage the event loop for you. One great option is using the built-in unittest module with its isolated async case class. You write your test methods with the async keyword and use await inside them. The framework takes care of setting up and closing the event loop. This makes it easy to mix sync and async tests in one suite. For example, you can define an async test method that calls your async functions and checks their results. Another popular choice is pytest with the pytest async plugin. You mark your async test functions with pytest mark async and write them with the async keyword. The plugin manages the event loop behind the scenes, so you can await your async functions just like in normal code. It also supports async fixtures and async mocking, which helps when you need to simulate parts of your code during tests. Mocking async functions is important for unit tests. You can use async mock from the unittest mock library to create mocks that can be awaited. This way, you can simulate responses from async functions without running real code, keeping your tests fast and isolated. Running your async tests is simple once you have the setup. For unittest, you run your tests normally with the test discovery command. For pytest, just run the tests after installing the pytest async plugin. Both frameworks will handle the async code smoothly. Some tips to keep in mind: always write your test functions with the async keyword and use await inside them. Use the correct class or decorator depending on your framework. If you need to set up resources before tests run, use async fixtures. When mocking, use async mock to create awaitable mocks. And if you want to test multiple async calls at once, use async to run them concurrently in your tests. In short, the best way to unit test async Python code is to use the async support built into modern testing frameworks. Whether you choose unittest with isolated async test case or pytest with pytest async, these tools let you write clean, easy-to-understand tests that work naturally with async code. They handle the event loop for you, so you can focus on testing your functions and logic without extra hassle. This approach keeps your tests reliable, maintainable, and aligned with Python's async programming style.